Hi guys, my name is Alan Moreno. I am a student of La Salle University in Bogota. So for today's session, I'm going to talk about my project consolidation, which consists in the conception of the idea natural education. So let's start. First, we have to identify the problematic that I think to face. This is the environmental degradation. Then, let's see the pollution indicators in Bogota. The pollution is related to a big number of factors. Those are visual, luminous, noise, water, air, garbage, and soil. According to data numbers in Colombia, in the year 2014 in Bogota, and there was an indicator of air pollution that says that the number of smoke in the air was around 65 milligrams per meter cubic, and um, people in Bogota throw out around every day throw out around 7,500 tons of garbage. And in this order of ideas, we can infer and we have to take in account that the environmental degradation in Bogota is a social problem that is possible to handle by means of simple individual actions, in view of the easiness of its causes. We must identify the actions that promote this concern. The management of the natural resources at our homes. Finally, we can state we should increase the useful life of the things we buy to avoid the production of garbage in the city. To summarize, we can infer that there is a lack of environmental culture in Bogota. So let's think. If we increase the useful life of the things we buy, we can avoid the production and consumption practices. In this order of ideas, have you ever think how much money would you save if you have a saving culture, increasing the useful life of the things? When I started to think in this idea, I remembered a part of a book that I have read in the present semester. It is Rich Dad Poor Dad, where his author Robert Kiyosaki said, Padre Rico también decía, un error es una señal que indica que es tiempo de aprender algo nuevo, algo que no sabías antes. En esa línea de razonamiento también decía, demasiadas personas son demasiado flojas para pensar. En vez de aprender algo nuevo, tienen los mismos pensamientos día tras día. Pensar es un trabajo duro. Cuando estás obligado a pensar, expandes tu capacidad mental. Cuando expandes tu capacidad mental, tu riqueza aumenta. So, I can say about this that we are accustomed to daily practice many times without thinking in what is affecting us. But when we start to feel uncomfortable with the situation we live and begin to look for ideas to mitigate that problem that affects us, we can become those ideas in solutions. Hence, solutions used to be earning money. According to my ideals, I thought I want to link the way I mitigate that problem with the profession I'm forming myself on. I want to be a teacher, so how can I convert garbage in something useful to my job, and it happened. The way was teaching to my students leaving the preservation practices to acquire conservation habits. So, however, you will ask, what is the difference? And I would answer, preservation is take from the nature what we need without thinking in the future. Our natural resources are limited. It means no recycling practices. Whereas conservation means that if you cut a tree for your needs, you will plant 10 more. Then, my expectations were to develop didactic resources through recycled elements like mm, garbage that we can find from paper shops, and became that in useful tools to teach language in a fun way, like lotteries or even other resources, other didactic resources. Nevertheless, I want to recount you what I did. First, I started to identify my characteristics of an entrepreneur I consider I have. Between all of them, I think I have an internal fire. I always wonder why. I desire to learn, and sometimes I take risks. And I like to help others to grow, and I want to make a better world. So I I remember other part of the book again. It was from the page 186. It says, cuando discutimos la misión de una compañía, hablamos de dos misiones, la misión del negocio y la misión espiritual. ¿Puede un negocio iniciar con solo una misión de negocios? ¿Hacer ganancias y tener éxito? Por supuesto, pero los negocios que adoptan una misión espiritual crean un propósito más alto que permite a otros alinearse con esa misión espiritual. So, for that reason, it was important for me to to think in the company or in the ideal with something I have I was doing actually I want to be a teacher, and I consider I have passion for that. So I started to collect and recycle. I look for many kind of garbage taken from paper shops, like plastic and mm, bottles, cartoon, things that could help me to create useful tools. Then I started to think in the triangle that Rich Dad had to his business, and that implies gastos, ingresos, activo, pasivo, del equipo, liderazgo y la misión, and all of those things. However, as you know, all the materials I I got was free because it is recycled. It is easy to find in that order of ideas. It represented an earning for me. However, I had to invest in time because of to make those materials is really difficult, and you have to make the things accurately, um, you need to think how to. You need a lot of creative, and it is necessary to start it to face some challenges we as people, as humans, used to have. Many times we are always posterging our actions, what we have to do, our duties. And I remember Kiyosaki a part of the book where Kiyosaki said that there are sometimes there are some fears, and uh, according to these fears, we used to avoid our duties, and we are always saying, no, I will do the things tomorrow. No, tomorrow you will say, no, I will do that next week. And it is like a circle that is difficult to avoid. And nevertheless, I invite you, people who hear me, that uh, it's necessary to have determination and start the things uh, for today, and do the things to to advance. So I want to recount you my results, and those were that I could promote recycling as a conscious practice. I could develop economic didactic material to English language learning for kids, and as last goal, it was possible to inspire students learn a second language through recycling, making that themselves build the material. Incidentally, we can infer that what material resources are going to be used. Mainly, I can take advantage of steaming waste from paper shops. While talking about human resources, I consider that I need creative people to make the products as attractive as possible, because of this is the challenge. You can recycle, but people like new things and new stuffs, and if it looks like something ugly, it is easy to don't use that. And as last result, uh, I could keep in mind the purpose, objectives, and the ideas with regard to resources, and be able to respond to the problem what concerns me, an initiative, and my interests. So I consider that if you want to do something, it has to be with passion, because if you don't find that passion in what you are doing, it is difficult to find an objective, an ideal, and your own purpose. And finally, I want to thank you for hearing me, and I hope these kind of ideas uh, can be well received by you, and it can help you to have more and more ideas for your purposes. Thank you and goodbye.